Covid-19 Pandemic, written by Hasna Hizbullah Iflal and narrated by Amana Iflal. Mummy, what is lockdown? Why is Grandpa not allowed to go out? Why did they close our school? Could you tell me why, please? Layla asked her mother. Mummy was busy reading something on her phone. Lately, she had been too busy on the phone. Get ready for your class. It's already 7 o'clock. Your teacher will come online at 9 o'clock sharp, Mummy commanded, evading the questions. Disappointed, Layla ran to her father. Daddy, why aren't you going to work these days? What is this word? Quarantine, I think. What is that word? What is a curfew, Daddy? She asked. Wake Zaina and Zion. It's already 7 o'clock, he replied, watching TV. Layla was sad. Mommy and Daddy were too busy. I'll ask Grandma. She always has an answer to my questions, Layla thought. She walked into Grandma's room. Grandma had her hands clasped in prayer. Quietly, Layla sat on the edge of the bed and looked out of the window at the garden. Grandpa was busy in the garden. The garden was not big, but Grandpa loved to plant. He was digging up a few of his favorite plants. What happened to him? He loves those plants. Why was he pulling them out? They have beautiful flowers. I will ask him later, she thought. Grandma turned and smiled. How are you, darling? She asked. I'm fine, thank you, Grandma. I have a few questions. Do you have time to listen to me? Layla queried. Yes, of course. I have all the time for you, little one, Grandma said, sitting next to Layla on the bed and cuddling her close. Why are we staying at home now? Why can't I go out to play with Amal and Neha? Grandma looked thoughtful. Darling, we are staying at home to protect ourselves and others from the virus. Virus? What's that? A monster? It's a tiny germ. It makes you ill if it gets into your lungs. It's called the Covid-19. Grandma tried to explain in simple words. Oh, I heard that word Covid-19 in the news. I thought it was a new Marvel movie. Layla gushed out, her eyes bright. Sadly, it isn't, dear. Grandma sighed. It's a tiny germ that is going around the world making people ill. The only way we could protect ourselves is by staying at home. The government has asked us not to go out and have gatherings. We need to respect that. It's to protect us. So, what is this funny word? Quarantine, I think? I can't pronounce it, Grandma, Layla complained. Grandma laughed. Let me explain this to you. The virus spreads if you have come in contact with someone who already has the virus. We call that person an infected person. If you come in close contact with an infected person, you are supposed to stay away from others in case you've got the virus into your body as well. This is what is called quarantine. You need to stay away for 14 days. You can go to a quarantine center or stay at home separated from your family, which is called self-isolation. Countries have put the whole country or a particular area under self-isolation, which is called a lockdown. We should go out only when it is necessary. I heard Mommy saying this to Grandpa yesterday. She asked Daddy not to go to crowded places, said Layla. Yes, dear. When we go out, we need to keep at least a meter's distance from another. When standing in a queue, you need to be 1 meter or 3 feet away from the person in front and behind you. When we come home, we should wash our hands with soap. It is better to take a bath as the virus is killed when we apply soap. Clothes need to be washed immediately and put to dry in the hot sun. If you can't wash clothes immediately, you should tie it in a bag and leave it for at least 3 to 4 days without touching. I saw a lot of people wearing a mask, Granny. Is it a must even if you are not sick? Grandpa peeped through the window at this time. He was curious to know what we were talking. Layla, it is a must, whether you are sick or not. It is to protect you and others. It takes up to 14 days after the virus has entered your body for the symptoms to show. So you need to be careful, he said. What are symptoms, Grandpa? Symptoms are signs that you've got ill. COVID-19 symptoms are severe cough, high fever, breathing difficulty, and a sore throat. But remember, some of these symptoms are common with the other flu as well. You need to be careful when you get it. You should stay away from family members, he said. We need to behave responsibly, otherwise the hospitals will fill up with sick patients. The doctors and nurses will have too much work trying to care for everyone, said Grandma. Oh dear, so if we don't stay indoors, Uncle Lal will have a lot of work. Yes, he will. Also, we must appreciate the work done by the government, the police, the army, and all those who work in quarantine centers. Remember, they too have families. While we stay indoors, medical and security uncle and aunties are working to protect us. We must make their work easy, Grandpa advised. Grandpa, what are you planting in those pots? Inquired Layla, going closer to the window. I'm growing vegetables. We need to do our part for the country, Grandpa explained. While we stay indoors, we could do a lot of work. Learn to cook, sew, clean the house and garden, study, Grandma was saying. Oh my God, it's time for my school online class. I wish we had a holiday, complained Layla, getting up from the bed. Go along and get ready for the lesson. We need to appreciate all the teachers who are working hard, getting your lessons done. It's for your own good, Layla, Grandma advised. I will, Grandma. See you in an hour's time. Grandpa, can I help you with your vegetable plot after my lesson is over? Requested Layla. Of course, my dear. Now go along. See you later, Layla said, running into the living room. The end. Illustrated by Amra and Ahmed Iflal, and the graphics are done by Abdullah Iflal.